The history of U.S. independence is rooted in colonial unrest, revolutionary ideals, and a desire for self-governance. By the early 1700s, 13 British colonies were established along the eastern seaboard of North America. Tensions between the colonies and the British Crown escalated over issues like taxation without representation and control over trade. In 1765, the British government passed the Stamp Act, a direct tax on the colonies, sparking widespread protest. By 1770, incidents like the Boston Massacre deepened resentment. The colonies' dissatisfaction reached a boiling point with the Intolerable Acts of 1774, which were punitive measures enacted after the Boston Tea Party. These laws restricted colonial freedoms and led to the formation of the First Continental Congress, where representatives from 12 colonies met to address their grievances. On April 19, 1775, the first shots of the American Revolutionary War were fired at Lexington and Concord. The Continental Congress convened again in May 1775, and in June, George Washington was appointed Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army. Over the next year, clashes between colonial militias and British troops grew intense, and by 1776, the colonies were firmly entrenched in a war for independence. On June 7, 1776, Richard Henry Lee of Virginia introduced a resolution for independence. The Continental Congress debated it, and on July 2, 1776, it passed. However, the official Declaration of Independence was not made until July 4, when Thomas Jefferson's eloquent draft of the Declaration was approved. This document articulated the philosophical justification for independence, emphasizing natural rights and the principle that governments derive their legitimacy from the consent of the governed. The war for independence was long and difficult, with significant battles like the Siege of Boston, the Battle of Saratoga, and the eventual American victory at Yorktown in 1781. The Treaty of Paris, signed in 1783, formally ended the war and recognized the sovereignty of the United States. The new nation faced challenges in creating a lasting government. The Articles of Confederation, adopted in 1781, proved ineffective. In 1787, the U.S. Constitution was drafted, creating a more powerful federal government. It was ratified in 1788, and George Washington became the first president in 1789, solidifying the country's independence.